in the press. How are you going to get
That's
to
why
the
it's going to
bottom of
take 3 months because you're going
Well,
to have to do everything without her.
What about TV journalism? I mean, what if we put Coles or one of the other channels investigated journalists on it? No? All right.
No.
All right.
No,
Well, you'd think Glenn Taylor would get behind that, though, on the Star Tribune side.
Why? What's in it for? No, it would require Woodward and Bernstein again.
What do you mean? Why did
Woodward and Bernstein, if you look back on that, I don't think they were so eager to undo Nixon because he was a Republican. They grasped onto that story because that was the meat and potatoes of journalism.
Yeah.
I don't think they...
That's what I've always gathered.
Yeah.
And even though they are on the left side...
they might not even have been at the time.
Right.
But they certainly have grown into that leftist popularity.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
But and I know we're picking on the Star Tribune here a little bit, but why wouldn't they? Just because if they were to uncover a story of this magnitude, it would be all over the country.
And it would improve their street cred immensely.
I couldn't agree more. It could be a Pulitzer. If you find that this woman violated American law by illegally marrying someone alleged to have been her brother, and it turns out he was her brother, you got a Pulitzer-type story there because you might effectively be able to remove her from Congress.
Instead, you know what they'll do? They'll trot out the obligatory story about it, buried in the midsection, and throughout the article they'll write it'll say citing right-wing conservative sources.
I think also
they'll poo-poo it with their wording.
Well, plus their current answer would be, we have done this story, and they have. They've looked at this, and they've essentially just repeated what Omar has told them, that this is false. The only reason this is news again today is because you've got this fellow in the local Minneapolis Somali community who is saying, yes, she did marry her brother. That guy is now the focus of attention.
Yeah.
Joe, I'd do it, but I'm in Fort Myers.
And as far as the Examiner
You
here,
wouldn't know how to do it.
as far as the Examiner goes, they're not giving us any new information. This piece,
I think the
reading.
Examiner's playing off the Mail, aren't they?
Yeah.
And the Mail's playing off
The report of this guy.
what's his name again?
Hold on, I got it right here.
Abdi Hakim.
Hakeem Osman.
Osmond.
Abdi
And we have
Hakeem
reached out to him,
Yep.
and he probably doesn't know us from the man in the moon.
I gave the complete introduction as to who we are, who we work for.
And why again do we want to believe that he finds this important? Why is he speaking out?
In looking at some of the past work that he has done, I think he's perturbed by the way she has treated those that got her elected.
Well, that's another aspect that needs to be investigated. What you just asked, what's your motivation? Why you?
Because some of the stuff he's posting, I can't read.
What do you mean?
Because it's written in Somali?
Yeah, exactly. So
Actually-
I don't know what it means. Right.
That's Hawaiian.
That's mahalo.
Well,
But the people, because he posted this same column, the Daily Mail thing that you're reading from.
yep.
He posted it to his own personal page.
Yep.
And there are hundreds of comments by people that are
you
furious with her.
You don't think he's an army of one. You're seeing other Somali names that
are just
saying,
as mad with her.
Osman, we agree with you.
Yeah.
You're right.
Who wrote the piece in the Mail, Such? And would it be worth getting a hold of that reporter? Find out what that reporter's sitting
By
on.
Martin Gould in Minneapolis. Well, for God's sakes, it's Kenny. You should have bugged me before.
Not
Find
when we
him.
were
Brooke.
35 minutes of the show.
Yeah. God damn it.
You're like my wife. Even though you're wrong, I'm wrong.
Right. You screwed
It's
up.
a 50-50-90 rule. Rook, Martin, conventional. Gould, Gould.
Got him. Let's see.
Gould.
Right.
Yeah.
Gould, Martin Gould in Minneapolis.
Just a stringer, maybe.
Yeah, but a stringer with about a 25-page piece here, and a stringer who got a hold of Abdi Kahim Osman is the first person to go on record to speak of how Omar said she wanted to get her brother papers so he could stay in the U.S., and it has long been rumored that Omar and Ahmed Elmi are siblings, but because of lack of paperwork in Somalia, proof has ever been uncovered. I have an interesting question, and I don't mean it facetiously. How could she get an enhanced driver's license? She can't prove a birth certificate.
Good question.
Because it's been lost.
That's a really good question. I don't know how. Everybody's picked up this story, by the way.
If she has a passport, I believe that'll work.
Yeah, that'll work. Well, all this makes me want to ride a fat tire bike.
Let's do it.
Want to give me a fat tire. And I got another note from the guys out in Phoenix. He sent me pictures of the bike that his wife got. And he again said, damn it, I wish there was an EcoFun Motorsports out here, because that's where I would have purchased this bike. And he's got it for his wife, and he sent pictures.
He highlighted something I've witnessed.
And it's a Bentelli.
He highlighted what I've seen. People that ride these electrified bikes, God, they look happy.
Yes.
They look so happy.
Yes, you don't have to pedal if you don't want to.
Yes.
EcoFun Motorsports is in downtown Forest Lake, right on Highway 61. You can't miss it. And let me tell you, right now, through Saturday, Feb 29, is a year-end clearance sale on all Bentelli e-bikes. This will be the lowest price of the year you'll ever see on a Bentelli e-bike. Beat the spring rush. Get out to EcoFun Motorsports tomorrow. Saturday will be beautiful. It's supposed to be in the 40s. It'll be nice enough to take a test drive.
Hell yeah.
Stick it in your van, your car, take it home, wait for spring, or maybe you even have streets that have been plowed. But these are fantastic. You got the bum knees or something like that. You don't have to stop riding a bicycle. Like Kenny says, I've only seen happy people riding electric assist bikes, and Bentellis are the best. Tim Bloom and his daughter's a teenager. She's about 16 or 17. She's a nationally recognized expert on Bentelli e-bikes.
She knows everything.
She's been flown around the country to give talks and go to seminars and the whole deal. Yes,
cool.
She's the one. And right now, through Saturday, Feb 29, a year-end clearance sale is underway at EcoFun Motorsports. You will now experience and enjoy the lowest prices of the year on all Bentelli e-bikes. EcoFun Motorsports in downtown Forest Lake.
There's an unwelcome sight in the neighborhood. A developer is being greedy. There's a hole in the sky where a tree once stood. Such a lack of life and sound. All that's left is bare, muddy ground. A magnificent tree was murdered.
What?
This is the... oh, you were gone last Friday.
Yeah.
This is a special request. The tree murder song that we played from the Seattle City Council last week.
Woman came in and sang a tree murder song. Take that song down!
Hurting my ears.
I don't ever want to hear it again, ever.
I'm waving to get the music out of my face. Play some music. We can't.
No, we're starting. Here we go.
No, I need music.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Now give me a liner.
Here's
a man.
The earth is not your mother. The Joe Soucheray Show.
So we only took a brief break there, and what we discussed is something we really love about clients when they tell us what they want us to focus on, and that's the case with DKMags.com. They got a hold of me a couple of weeks ago and said, we've got this great handgun magazine loader. We've got it in store. We're willing to give demonstrations, and if you're a GLer, if you come in there and shout to the heavens, hey, I'm a GLer, you're going to get this GLer only discount of $29 plus tax. It's a really dandy price, and from what the guys at DK Mags are saying, it's going to be one of the best handgun magazine loaders you'll ever pick up. So if you've got a problem with yours, or if you're like me, you tried one years ago and you thought it was a joke, get in there, because this price probably isn't going to be around next week. I'm not sure, but I know they've got something else in mind for our product next week. So if you've ever been thinking about one of these handgun magazine loaders and you want a good price at $29, check it out. But, I mean, they're DK Mags. It's a small little shop, and they've got... wow, do they have firearms. Everything you could possibly think of. And if they don't have it in store, have them order it for you. They've done it for me, and they come in a week or so later, and it's absolutely wonderful. These guys at DK Mags, they're regular guys. They're regular GLers just like us. And the great thing is they've got another location, Monticello Pawn and Gun. So you've got two options there. And, of course, the website, dkmags.com. They're located in New Brighton. just off of, is it Old 8? Yeah,
Yep,
Old 8.
Old 8.
Old 8.
The old one.
Firearms, ammunition, accessories, holsters, cases, tactical lights, suppressors, and on and on and on. An awesome part of the GL family, Monticello Pawn and Gun, and DKMags.com.
There's a whole
Stop it. Stop it. They won't pay us if you play that.
My friend Dan Kelly, the editor of Bulletin Board in the Pioneer Press.
Yes.
It's also online at bbonward.com.
Very
It's a lot of
familiar.
fun. He's a Harvard grad. I give him endless grief about
Is he
that.
really? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
You don't seem that smart.
Wow, Rook.
He sent me a piece from the New York Times that truly is the end of the world. This is a piece for the use of personal pronouns like they, them, Z, her, HIR, at the Kennedy School of Government. And it's written by Anamona Hardakolis. It's dated Feb 19. When was that? 2 days ago.
2 days.
For generations of future diplomats and cabinet officials educated at Harvard's renowned John F. Kennedy School of Government, Orientation Day has come with a name placard that the student carries from class to class so their professors can easily call on them. When Diego Garcia Bloom, 30, got his placard last fall, the first-year grad student immediately took a Sharpie to it, writing he/him next to the big block letters of his name. Other students did the same thing, writing she, her, and they, them. Yep, day one, Mr. Garcia Bloom recalled, adding, that's when I thought the students are ahead of the school. But despite its reputation as a bastion of the establishment, the Kennedy School followed the students' lead, agreeing to provide clear plastic stickers this semester with 4 pronoun options that students could apply to their name cards. He, him, she, her, they, them, and Z, her, HIR. I think it's valuable, generally speaking, to challenge the norm that you can assume a person's gender based on appearances, said Raven Graff. Raven? Raven. Where in the
what you know
bleep
about
is that
Raven?
foghorn?
What up, Raven?
Said Raven Graff, 25, a non-binary student at Kennedy whose pronouns are they, them. As young people who have grown up with a more expansive concept of gender identity bring those ideas to college classrooms, universities have responded in varying ways, with some professors and schools quickly accommodating a wide...
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We as a country sure know how to sweat the small stuff, don't we? My goodness.
Not done.
There's more.
A couple more.
They call him the Shredder, Joe Soucheray.
Bleep you, Harvard.
There you go. And
Reporting is not what it used to be.
let's go.
Reporting
Reporting
is not.
not.
Well,
Hail it.
both
Yeah.
Reavers and Olson wanted me to be terribly aware of this story about what are continued absences at Minneapolis Park Board meetings. So they can't have the meeting.
Oh.
And they can't approve contracts. And
I have to take the blame, the sole blame for this. I'm the one that made him print that and give it to you. But it came to me via an emailer, and he was concerned about why we're not getting anything done.
And I read it, and I don't understand why you're not seeing the outrage here. Okay.
I'll explain that.
I think that's what
I
he's
don't know
gonna
that
do.
I'm outraged. I'm citing this as another example of bad reporting.
Okay.
Wednesday evening scheduled meeting of the Minneapolis Park and Rec Board lasted 15 minutes before Vice President Tricia Vitaw announced it was canceled. It was the second time this year that a meeting of the leaders of the city's park system did not happen because they lacked a quorum. A Jan 29 special meeting was canceled after only 4 of the 9 commissioners showed up. Some worry it will happen again. This has to stop, Vitaw said. People voted for us to do the work to make the decisions, and attendance is important. The canceled meetings have pushed back board approvals for contracts, invasive aquatic species work, and a new lease for Superintendent Al Bangura's residence in South Minneapolis. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry, who has had to ratify Park Board's work, said Thursday he has noticed many instances of delay this year that have prevented him from signing off on parks matters. Goes on to say Vitaw, who was supposed to lead Wednesday's meeting, because President Jono Cowgill was on a long-planned vacation, said Bangura, and Bangura is concerned given the time his staff members have spent preparing for the meetings. 4 park commissioners from both meetings, Londell French, A.K. Hassan, Cale Severson, and former President Brad Bourne, They're not showing up. One time, my point is, nowhere in the story does it tell. I'm willing